All right, picture this. You're a medical student, right? You're cramming for your biochemistry boards. The clock is ticking down, the pressure is totally on, and suddenly time just completely freezes. Your cells literally stop functioning. Why? Well, because without sophisticated molecular accelerators, the essential chemical reactions keeping you alive right this very second would literally take centuries to complete. Biological existence as we know it would be flat out impossible. So let's dive into this explainer and see exactly how our bodies bend the rigid rules of chemistry to maintain the rapid molecular acceleration that sustains human life.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the theoretical foundations, really getting into the physics of catalysis before we move into part 2, which is the peroxide problem and enzyme mechanics.
Okay, part 1, theoretical foundations. Let's tackle the underlying physics of catalysis and the physical chemistry that governs biological reaction speeds. So think about an uncatalyzed reaction. Without any structural intervention, our vital biological substrates are effectively trapped behind these massive, insurmountable energy barriers. Just relying on ambient body heat? Yeah, that just isn't going to cut it to drive these transformations at a physiological pace. But then we have targeted interventions. Take the heme group, for instance, that complex porphyrin ring securely holding a central iron ion. It's a recurring structural motif that steps in and successfully allows our biological systems to achieve a much lower, beautifully efficient energetic pathway. But before we go any further, we need to get our definition straight. What actually is a catalyst? Well, it's an agent that significantly accelerates a chemical reaction without ever being consumed or permanently altered in the process. And because they emerge completely unchanged at the end of the cycle, you really only need trace amounts of these molecules to trigger massive metabolic fluxes. Now, living systems primarily use complex folded protein structures called enzymes for this, but we can't forget ribozymes. Those are specialized RNA molecules that are absolutely capable of independently facilitating specific biochemical changes too. The absolutely crucial point here is understanding exactly why organic biological reactions naturally resist rapid transformation in the first place. We call this energetic barrier activation energy, or EA. You see, in our dense cellular environment, molecules aren't just floating around in a vacuum. They're surrounded by these tight cages of polar water molecules called hydration shells. Plus, many critical molecules exist in highly stable electronic resonance states. Think of the energetic cost like trying to execute a precise, intricate handshake while wearing thick winter mittens and being handcuffed to your pockets. You have to expend a massive amount of energy just to strip away those water molecules and disrupt that comfortable resonance to even get the reaction started. And that brings us to the very peak of that activation energy climb, the transition state. This is a highly unfavorable, strictly temporary molecular bottleneck. It's this precarious threshold where old chemical bonds are actively breaking and entirely new bonds are simultaneously forming. Without specialized biological assistance, reaching this unstable geometry relies on pure, random chance. It is incredibly improbable, which is exactly why uncatalyzed biological reactions are impossibly sluggish. Now, a really common conceptual misconception is that an enzyme just magically shrinks that massive energy mountain. But that's not it at all. A true catalyst doesn't just lower the existing mountain. It's more like a brilliant molecular architect that comes along and blasts a multi-step tunnel straight through the solid rock. It engineers an entirely distinct, lower energy chemical pathway. And yeah, it always kind of blows students' minds to learn that this new pathway might actually involve more intermediate chemical steps, but every single one of those energetic thresholds is so much lower, meaning the entire journey proceeds at a vastly more rapid kinetic pace. But there's a hard physical boundary we really have to respect here. Biological accelerators are the absolute masters of manipulated kinetics. They heavily dictate the reaction speed and the precise chemical pathway. However, they mathematically cannot ever violate fundamental thermodynamic laws. The specific starting energy of your substrates, the ending energy of your biological products, and the final chemical equilibrium, those remain absolutely constant. So remember, catalysts manipulate the speed of the journey, but never the fundamental mathematical energy balance. All right, let's move into section 2, the peroxide problem. We're going to shift from theoretical frameworks to a pressing, real-world clinical application.
I want to introduce you to hydrogen peroxide. It is a notorious, highly toxic metabolic byproduct of standard cellular respiration. As your mitochondria burn fuel, they inevitably produce this hazard. And if carelessly left completely unchecked, accumulating hydrogen peroxide will indiscriminately oxidize vital lipid membranes, it'll aggressively denature essential proteins, and actively mutate your structural DNA. So this creates a literal pressing life or death scenario where it must be neutralized immediately into stable molecular oxygen and plain water to ensure you survive.
So what happens without intervention? Well, the uncatalyzed decay of hydrogen peroxide is biologically unacceptable. First, it demands a massive 75 kilojoule per mole activation energy. Second, it generates a dangerously unstable, freely wandering atomic oxygen intermediate that has to just blindly navigate the cell to find another peroxide molecule. The ultimate physiological results? A fundamentally sluggish reaction rate that would allow toxins to accumulate millions of times faster than they could be safely cleared out. Fortunately for us, an alternative exists. Even a simple nonmetal ion, like basic iodide, provides an alternative cyclical pathway. It chemically reacts with the peroxide to form a temporary, safer hypoiodite intermediate, completely avoiding that dangerous atomic oxygen. By providing this distinct structural route, the required activation energy remarkably drops from a steep 75 to just 56 kilojoules per mole. And, fulfilling the very definition of a catalyst, the simple iodide ion is successfully released entirely intact, ready to initiate the cycle all over again. Now you might be wondering, why does a seemingly small 19 kilojoule drop in raw activation energy matter so tremendously much? Well, the hidden secret here is the Arrhenius equation. The relationship between activation energy and reaction velocity is strictly exponential. Because that activation energy variable sits securely up in the mathematical exponent, a modest linear reduction instantly yields an explosive, staggering 2,000-fold actual biological speed increase. This exponential math right here is the true engine driving our metabolic efficiency. But listen, while basic metal ions are great, the chaotic environment of a living cell demands absolute kinetic perfection. Enter Catalase, the ultimate biological upgrade. This isn't just about simple chemical bouncing around. It's an evolutionary leap in biological architecture. Catalase utilizes a massive, intricately folded three-dimensional protein structure to actively grab and forcefully manipulate the toxic substrate. It orients it perfectly to force the chemical reaction forward at an unmatched, incredibly accelerated pace. And the heart of this molecular machine is its precisely coordinated heme group. To perfectly memorize this flawless sequence, I want you to use the mnemonic PAIR. P-A-I-R. First, peroxide binds precisely to the heme group. Second, atomic oxygen is instantly formed by surrounding amino acid residues. Third, the central iron atom temporarily holds that oxygen securely. And fourth, the reaction repeats as it rapidly transfers that oxygen to a second incoming peroxide molecule. PAIR. This specific structural geometry pushes the absolute limits of biochemical efficiency. Just look at these staggering raw metrics. The activation energy drops all the way down to a mere 23 kilojoules per mole. Due to our exponential kinetics, that results in a reaction velocity 1.3 billion times faster than the uncatalyzed baseline. But the truly unbelievable number, the turnover rate. A single, distinct, individual catalase protein converts up to 100 million toxic molecules into safe water and oxygen every single second. Absolutely mind-blowing. Let's systematically synthesize this. When we evaluate these three states side by side, it perfectly encapsulates the sheer evolutionary advantage of complex protein architecture. We literally go from a dangerous atomic oxygen intermediate requiring 75 kilojoules at a baseline velocity of 1, all the way to a highly controlled, heme-bound oxygen intermediate requiring just 23 kilojoules, operating 1.3 billion times faster. Honestly, organisms without these structural enzymes simply perished. So to summarize this supreme paradigm of cellular efficiency, keep these three profound takeaways in mind. 1. Pathway creation. Highly effective structural catalysts don't cheat thermodynamics, they forge entirely new, safe kinetic tunnels. 2. Exponential returns. Even small linear energetic reductions yield massive mathematical speed increases. And 3. Biological supremacy. Through precise structural mechanics, specialized biological enzymes absolutely dominate cellular chemistry, safely neutralizing internal toxins to prevent catastrophic oxidative cell death. All right, time to initiate our high-yield review sequence. I'm going to hit you with 3 active recall questions, strictly based on today's explainer. First up, What is the fundamental difference between how a catalyst affects reaction kinetics versus thermodynamics? Think about it for a second. The answer? Catalysts manipulate speed and pathway, but overall energy states remain absolutely constant. Remember the rationale we covered. Starting energies, ending energies, and final chemical equilibrium are governed by unyielding thermodynamic laws. Biological catalysts only master the kinetic speed of the journey.
Okay, question 2. Why is the uncatalyzed breakdown of hydrogen peroxide so dangerously slow for organisms? Try to recall that deadly baseline scenario we talked about.
The precise answer is twofold. First, it requires a massive activation energy of 75 kilojoules per mole. And second, it relies heavily on randomly wandering, highly unstable atomic oxygen intermediates. The sheer danger of relying on physical chance to clear toxins is exactly why our cells need direct enzymatic intervention. And the final, most crucial mathematical question to test your understanding of kinetic acceleration limits. According to the Arrhenius equation, why does a seemingly small 19 kilojoule drop via the iodide catalyst cause a staggering 2,000-fold actual speed increase? Because the relationship between activation energy and reaction velocity is strictly exponential. That activation energy variable sits right up in the mathematical exponent. Think about that as you continue your studies. It is this massive, unyielding mathematical exponent that serves as the true biological engine of human metabolic life. Which begs the question, if our bodies can naturally engineer this kind of billion-fold acceleration just to clear out some peroxide, what other impossible chemical feats is your cellular machinery performing right now just to keep you alive? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and stay curious.